evening and welcome to the Joust. My name is Naggy. I'm joined once again by my co-host, Mr. Liam Francesco McNeil. Francesco, Mr. McNeil.
Of course, famously Italian.
Famously Italian.
As you all know, Joust, I'm an Italian man.
Yes, yeah, there's two Italian men in this room, of course. Liam, do you ever wish that you had more of an Italian name?
No.
No, you're happy with your
I'm fine with what I've got.
staunch Irishness?
Just add a vowel to the end.
Mr. McNeil.
Nearly.
Yeah.
Liamo.
I've always liked the name Anthony LaPaglia.
Well,
I think it rolls off the tongue.
Well, remember that time where no one actually knew how to pronounce Italian words? It was Anthony LaPaglia.
LaPaglia, yeah. Well, we all have a go here at Australia.
We have a go. We definitely have a go.
Phonetically, really, is really how strongly that we really dive into the name phonetically. We say there's those letters, they each have a place, and they sound the same no matter which country you're in.
Well, I think it's the mockery more than anything that I don't want, because as Australians, we bloody love mocking Italians, don't we?
There is some mockery all sorts of cultures. It's also Irish included.
Yeah.
The mix as well.
Mix.
Famously, so you would have been a mix.
Well, of course, you always had anywhere on earth that you'd go in the Western world, so not anywhere on earth, you had the holy trinity of the Catholic immigrants, with the Irish, the Italians, and the Poles.
Yeah.
So anywhere you'd go in, a big, fancy, expensive city, if you ever want to go to church, just meet one of those three.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They all lead back to the same. Yeah. All roads lead to Rome, as they say. Speaking of,
well, I don't know. I've been up and down Turton Road.
Yeah,
it doesn't go much past Broadmeadow, really.
Speaking of Rome, Liam, of course, we have our musical guest this week. It gives me great pleasure to welcome him fresh from counting Viktor Orban's loss over there in Hungary, but he made his way back in time. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our musical guest. Mr. Lou Scarry.
Lips and eyes and mouth, their smooth, soft skin. They ain't the injuries, they're suffering. Pulled on their hamstrings, near their scrotes. And then Dylan Lucas went and hurt his throat. He went down, 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 down. In Pussytown.
Thank you, Lou, of course.
Tell me, Lou, did Mr. Orban take his election defeat with grace and humility?
Publicly, yes.
Oh, that's good to know. Well done.
Yeah,
well done, Mr. Orban.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do publicly. That's all really what we're
And the
aiming for.
world's the worst for it, you know. There's no real strong men in politics anymore.
No, they're fake strongmen. Yeah, of course, our political show, which we can find.
Join us next week, Mr. Fake Strongman.
Fake strongman, of course. Liam, of course, we're coming here from the Georgia Derby Hotel, live from the gents upstairs. Beautiful building.
Roomy cubicles they are now.
You can really stretch out. You can fit up to 6 men in there. Not that you need to, but you can, and that's why I like them.
It's good to have the option, you know.
Yeah.
It's always good to have the option.
It's good to look at the metric. And Liam, when we're looking at metrics,
oh, yeah.
we, of course, last week we were at dangerous levels. The whole place was shaking.
We were so close to smug levels.
Because we were right up there with Gavin Morton levels of smugness. But
Not quite there yet.
As we reassess now after the loss to the Tigers, we can check the smuggometer. As we go down there, now we're falling back to Christian Slater levels of smugness.
Now, we were talking about this before the show. Are we talking Broken Arrow, Christian Slater?
Just maybe a little bit after that, when his career really started to take a dive.
I couldn't name one other thing that he's been in.
Oh, yeah.
I was in Archer for a bit. That was
Robin
pretty cool.
Hood?
Playing himself.
Yeah,
he was
Robin Hood.
He was the American in Robin Hood.
Will Scarlet.
He decided not to go for an attempt at a British accent, which I think paid off in the end.
Yeah. Well, he's meant to be the brother of Kevin Costner. So
it's a very
if he had a British
American,
accent and
yeah.
Kevin didn't have a British accent, it would have been weird.
Distant brother, apparently. So very distant.
Do you think there's a funny sketch in an American Robin Hood just having a gun?
Yeah.
Instead of a bow and arrow?
Russell Crowe should have had one when he
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
He's there fighting in the
Bang.
He's there fighting in the Crusades. He just pulls out a Glock.
Yeah. Or he comes back and just says, "What's going on here?" Bang.
It'd be a very short movie.
Problem solved.
Sheriff
yeah.
Nottingham. Oh, Mr. Loxley, welcome up.
Bang. Easy. We can fix movies. Join us next week for Fixing Films with Liam and Naggy.
That sounds great.
Put a bullet in us. We are done. But of course, we have to look at.
Speaking of putting a bullet in.
Speaking of bullets
God.
into bodies.
Oh.
Of course, now the casualty ward continues to grow. We were.
There's already a bloody beds crisis in the casualty wards around this country, and
That's
the
right.
Knights are not doing their part to alleviate
No,
that crisis at all.
The weekend beds, they're forcing elderly people out of the beds and said, hang on a second, we've got Dylan Lucas coming here with a bad throat.
It's kicking people off life support. Oh
so
my
we
God.
need this. Get them out of the MRI machine. We've got someone coming in from the Newcastle Knights and they're grabbing.
Have you ever been in an MRI machine?
I've seen them. I've seen them at work.
I think I fell asleep in one once.
Yeah.
But I was getting my upper groin test, my brain tested.
Yeah,
the
your
doctor
brain,
said
yeah.
you shouldn't be alive. But anyway, Dylan Lucas, of course, famously has hurt his throat, his upper groin.
Yes, it's certainly in the upper.
Which radiates from the lower upper groin, but
Yes.
is slightly below the upper lower groin.
Well,
I
it
think.
circulates and helps you the breathing. The groin accepts the air and then turns it into energy. That's how I
Yes.
understand it. Yeah. So
Photosynthesis, I think they call that.
now this reminds me, of course, if we go back to 2017, Liam. Rory Kostjason,
Rory.
who was signed coming off the worst year in NRL history with the Newcastle Knights only winning one game and drawing one game. Then we said, don't worry, we've got a brand new player. He's been around. He was in the Cowboys.
Was
he was with the
he
Melbourne
was at
Storm.
The Cowboys. No, he must have joined the Knights during their premiership year. Or did he play in the
I think he
premiership?
came the
He
year
played
after.
in the
Played in the premiership, then
He-
signed for the Knights for 2016.
No,
was it?
it's for 2017.
2017,
He was
yes.
meant to come, and that was going to be a marquee signing, which sort of shows where we were at that time. That Rory Kostjason was
Not to
our
say he wasn't a good footy player.
excellent
but
footy player. but it was-
Marquee, that's a.
he went
That's
from
drawing a long bow.
good teams as sort of a utility, and we all said, "Well, you like the cut of that jib? Bring us some of that on a plate." But he was actually hitting the throat in training by
Freak training accident, I think they called it.
Danny Levi, who actually fell into place behind Rory Kostjason.
was
Let that
marinate around under your tinfoil hat for a bit, Joust.
So he accidentally hit Rory Kostjason in the throat. Rory Kostjason never played again.
Well, he hasn't said a word since.
No.
You're pretty quiet, Rory.
Yeah, he did come in. When I was working at West, he did come in, and someone asked him like, "How's it going?" When he sort of seemed like he may have come back, and he just said, "Mate, it's fucked." And then proceeded to say the only way they can check it out is by feeding the camera tube up his nose, which goes down his throat, that he has to stay awake for. And so it was just the most...
The old reverse colonoscopy.
the reverse colonoscopy instead of the lower groin is the
Checking
upper
your bum,
groin.
we got to go in through your nose. Don't ask why. Just bend over.
And he said, and they kept going down there with the camera and kept saying, "Rory, it's fucked. You're never gonna play again." So he couldn't do any sort of massive cardio anymore without it restricting his breathing.
Damn.
Now, the articles that have come out about Dylan have said it's not like that injury. There is less structural damage to the cartilage around the voice box.
Are we at the point now, Naggy, with the Knights casualty ward that it's just funny?
Potentially.
Like, are we at the point where we're not sad anymore? It's just like, this is very, very funny.
Well, if enough, all we need is we're probably short of an elbow injury at the moment to really sort of got the
arm or
hamstring.
groin.
Yeah, maybe an ankle and arm, and then the knee, all groins, of course,
Yeah.
the throat groin. So it seems like
Each groin, of course, famously more important than
of course,
the
we
one
had
before.
Phoenix Crossland with the face groin, the schnoz, that of course hurt him. So if anything, the arms have been pretty good.
The arms have been fine.
I think with the arms,
And I think that's a credit to the club and to the strength and conditioning guys.
Of
that
course.
The various arms of the team have been fine.
yeah. They've done a great job.
You
with
need
the
them
arms.
to catch with.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. It's a very arm-heavy game.
Yeah.
You need both of them.
Got tackle.
Yeah,
Tackle with the arms. Yeah.
But of course, using the arms to bring food to the mouth, Liam.
Oh, it's my favourite thing to do with my arms.
And it's been a little while since we've talked about recruitment and retention in Mrs. Brown's Butter Chicken.
Mrs. Brown's butter chicken. Mrs. Brown's butter chicken.
Of course, Mrs. Brown, the wife of Nathan Brown, still there cooking butter chicken to not only attract players but retain them.
That's the important part is the retaining.
It's retaining.
You can attract them all you want, but if you don't retain them, then what are we doing here?
We did allude to this earlier in the season, Liam, but if you want to flesh out a little bit who we've signed.
Marata Niokore.
Thank you very much. Of course, for the Warriors, a more of a seasoned forward, you'd say. Has
Very much a veteran presence.
veteran presence. He's there. He's 29 years old, be turning 30 this year. But that's a young man these days.
No, but isn't that, remember, all rugby league players are 21 or 29 except for Alex Johnson, who's 25.
He was 25.
I think that was it. 21 and 29, isn't it? Yeah.
For a period, he was in fact 25. But this is someone that has a bit of versatility that can play in the back row, in the middle, and may even see some time coming off the bench. But that certainly has a bit of a oomph off the bench,
Which the Knights definitely need a bit of oomph, and that's been obviously the knock on the Knights in the pre-season. Not now because we've got the best forward pack in the
Lack
league.
of oomph.
But lack of oomph.
We've got lots of young players coming
Yeah.
through, but we need a bit of an old head there.
A lot of workman-like
Yeah,
players.
yeah,
We
we
need
need
a
work.
bustling, hard-running bastard of a bloke.
It does seem.
and that's what he is.
It does seem pretty rare when we're signing a player that was born previous to the '97 Grand Final. Some of the players that we have now, a lot of them actually, are actually born after our 2001 Grand Final. So that's frightening that they have never.
I'm older than every player in the Knights roster.
The only time they've
And I
ever
hate that.
seen success at the Newcastle Knights with their own human eyes is on a DVD or streaming.
And the DVD is hard to find. Remember when we did the 97 event? Trying to find a DVD of 97 was tough.
it came in the day we
Come
were
to me,
doing the
guys.
event.
It
It
didn't
came in
come
the
to
day.
me. I don't know.
I could have come to Josh.
And then I loaned it to Nick Sullivan. Never got it back. Thank you,
Well,
Nick.
there it's out there in circulation.
I got you, man. Sorry.
But this
Thank you, Josh.
is someone, a crafty veteran, of course, playing 161 games as it stands.
Big boy, 6'3", 106 kilos.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Seems to be scoring more tries
Whoa.
isn't he gorgeous? With less games for the Warriors. He managed 9 tries, 96 games of Parramatta Eels. He's upped that to 10 tries, 65 games.
Great, that's good.
That's
4
awesome.
tries in 4 games with the Cook Islands. That's flawless.
Can we expect maybe
100%.
a 10-game season from Mr. Nikorora?
10-game season or a 10-try season?
10 tries.
I'll take either. Given the way the casualty ward's going, if he signs next year and plays 10 games, that's a win.
You also see a bit of a lift that he's played for both Cook Islands and New Zealand. So he was so good for the Cook Islands, they said, why don't you come play for a real team?
If we look closely at the numbers here now.
Yeah, and then once you've reached
That
the point,
math ain't math, and that don't add up there.
you go back.
Some of those numbers are in between the other numbers.
You go back, you see, to a team that only plays
To
occasionally.
give back, you have to give back.
You got to give back.
Yeah.
Well, it's tier 1, tier 2 thing. Best thing to happen in International Rugby League. Tier 1, tier 2 thing.
Tier 1, Tier 2, of course, that's posed upon us by the higher-ups in a segment like called The News. Thank you, Lou. Now, of course, kicking off the news is a bit of the cool boys, Liam.
Yeah.
Now, this is unusual for us to see that the Titans. I want you to hold this as a concept in your mind. The Gold Coast Titans and coolness. Now,
Never have the twain been in the
they've
same room.
never been able to
Never.
mix these two. Now, I think in many respects, the Titans, who only came into the competition in 2006, were left.
Oh, happy 20 years, Titans.
20 years
You've done
Titans.
nothing
Yeah.
in that time.
Now
Well done.
they were sort of they were unlucky in the way that they had most of the cool colours already taken from them. The cool colour combinations. So they've gone for the current Titans jersey. They've gone for the light blue and the light yellow pastel, if you will. And then they said, well, we have to make a jersey that's going to be a little bit more
Cool.
heritage.
Bit more heritage.
And
But
then
that's the
someone
other
said,
thing.
hang on a second, we don't have any heritage. What can we do
Well,
here?
no, the problem, it's the opposite. They've got too many heritages.
Well, of course.
Do they bring back the Gold Coast Giants jersey? Do they bring back the Gold Coast Seagulls jersey? They've
Yep.
gone for the famous Gold Coast Chargers, the club where Preston Campbell made his debut.
Yes,
Actually,
it
in
did.
the 1998
Probably
season.
the highlight of the Gold Coast Chargers there.
Yeah,
that they
maybe
had
a highlight of Preston Campbell's career, too.
a recognisable player that it just.
I think
that
the
exists.
Chargers had a few more recognisable players than that. It was a couple of those blokes you were surprised played at the Chargers.
Yeah, well, I think Scotty Sattler
Yeah,
played for the
Sattler was
Chargers.
involved.
And then
But Preston's boy, of course.
Preston's
like.
boy.
Yeah, Preston's boy. I think Scott Sattler, I think when he was playing for the Chargers in '97, was still a fan of the Knights, being a Maitland boy.
Oh,
And then
what a great man.
and he went and watched it straight in the microphone.
And I heard
You gotta
it
break
once,
in the-
it
you gotta
sounded
break in
very
these
good.
big
If
mics.
you makes it good, huh?
Brady microphones, they got to hear every.
Testing the tolerances.
It's guttural.
Wonderful.
They got to. And he went and watched.
That's the clearest burp you'll ever hear, Joust. These fantastic new pod mics.
Straight in your ears. Apologies. And he went and watched at Jupiter's Casino the Newcastle Knights 97 grand final with a Newcastle Knights hat on, which I thought was
What a
great.
legend. That's fantastic.
Which is excellent.
Up
yeah.
Scott Sattler.
Up Scott Sattler.
But anyway, like, there's not many teams that have got away with the teal, purple, and silver, but boy, they're pulling it off here in the big, thick black collar. Good looking jersey. Well done, Titans. Best thing you've ever done in the history of your stupid franchise.
And then as we move on, Liam, we've also it's a nice blip in the Titans sort of this year, saying, hey, we've got something going on. We're cool boys once again. Big fat collars, the teals and the purples and whatnot, and you can wear the merch with pride for once. So,
Poor Titans.
for one time. So
We're going to have some angry 3 people.
Trust me. Like when I was my time in the Gold Coast, I could expect potentially 3 people being very cross with me. That's all there is up there. That's all they have up there that's supporting the team. It's not a lot.
Are we sure we're at Christian Slater levels?
We are. We're at Christian Slater.
Over at Gold Coast, we're at like...
They would dream to be at Christian Slater levels of smugness up in the Gold Coast. That's what they're pining towards. Very much Dolly Parton supporters.
Now to an actual good jersey.
And our good jersey, of course, we've got our own Anzac jersey, commemorative Anzac jersey of the Newcastle Knights. That looks rather similar to the one they had last year.
Yes, Naggy, but you'll notice, and those in the audio medium, I'd recommend switching to the visual medium because that small oval on the left sleeve, Naggy, is the big change from last year. And some bullshit about a performance collar. I don't know what that is. But, of course, as we discussed last year, and I actually like that they kept this. I think it's a sick jersey. I think it looks really good. Of course, the brown and green representative of the 35th Battalion of the AIF, which was made up of men from this great region that the Newcastle Knights call home. The 35th fought with great bravery.
It did. Yeah.
With great
purpose.
Resilience,
purpose.
Famous battles like the Somme, Passchendaele, Villers Bretonneux.
Yeah, of course.
All the big ones.
Verdun, did anyone make Verdun?
No, they didn't. No. That was.
But they were all like, this is back in a time where you were just put out in a slaughterhouse.
Oh, it was a meat grinder. The whole war.
It was terrible. So it was very, very brave men that we are now commemorating with this
jersey. Very,
jersey.
very brave of us as well to say that World War I was bad.
I think enough time has passed so we can say that it was an ill-fitted war for Australia, considering we are on the other side of the earth.
I think we did all right though.
Yeah, no,
we did pretty good.
Hey, we did. I like the fact
lost one at Gallipoli, got one at Villers Bretonneux, so we evened it. We broke even.
I just like the fact you're undecided on World War II. By the way.
World War II was still up in the air.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it seems like that we were. I like the fact that Australians go over to basically to that sort of Central Europe sort of area.
It was just a gap year. No one travels like Australians. It was just a gap year.
But when they were like Australians, had a bit of oomph about them. Yeah, they had a little bit of nous. They were cheeky and they didn't care about death. I like that. I sort of very proud of the boys.
Fellas.
They were rambunctious.
Yeah, like in Gallipoli, when they dance around like and
they had they were the prostitutes and things like that. They did say in Cairo, where a lot of them were stationed, both British and Australian troops, that it was very important for the prostitutes to identify the British.
The British troops were just rooting blokes
and Australian soldiers. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it wasn't good for the female Egyptian prostitutes.
On a gap year. But anyway, they used to target the British and Australian troops because they were paid the most. So they had the most money. Money ready to go.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, and then a lot of them got venereal diseases and then had to be sent home. And that was being called dishonorably discharged for dishonorably discharging.
Got him.
I read that in a book, everyone, so that's fine. It's fine. It's not my... I think it's Peter Fitzsimon said that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boo on the keyboard.
So, I don't have a boo, sorry. So anyway, a very interesting history that we have as far as Anzac. And look, it's nice to bring another jersey. I feel like the Newcastle Knights have only worn their home jersey every game. I don't know what that's about. I'm yet to see an away jersey.
We had the orange piece of shit the other day.
We had the orange. But otherwise, everywhere we've gone
we haven't seen the white stripes.
We haven't seen the white. No.
I don't That has only just occurred to me now that you've said it to my ears.
It's solid red and blue. That's all we've seen. I love
Which
it.
I love. It's great.
it.
Red and blue vertical stripes, fantastic. But give us a taste of the white and vertical, red and blue verticals.
Give us a taste of that,
Those are
and give us
best.
a taste of some free football.
Oh, we're
from
not going to get any of that
Beaverlanders.
anymore.
The broadcast deal, which is apparently tickling the fancy of the money men upstairs, they started talking about broadcast rights auctioning off to several media networks.
So, what they've done, Naggy, and Mr. Volandis is pushing a big number, $4 billion. $4 billion over 5 years, Mr. Speaker, for the broadcast deal. But they've gone about it in a funny way. They've put out tenders to various networks to bid for which night game or which day of games they would like. So
would they be still
Channel
free to
7,
air?
would you like Wednesday? Amazon Prime, would you like Saturday games? Channel 9, would you like... So it seems to be they've put it out in a piecemeal fashion where they're like, each network can bid on each day.
That sounds chaotic,
It's
Liam. That sounds
stupid.
like I'm going to be flicking around going, where the fuck is the game?
Well, that's it. And now they're
I'm
bringing
going-
in streaming services. They said, Amazon Prime might be interested. The article said it may go to Netflix, but Netflix have said it won't go to them.
So instead of pay TV, it's pay a lot of different TVs.
Well, that's
to
it.
watch
It's
your
all
game.
about the splintering
Pay
of the
TVs.
broadcast rights.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it in US, and you've seen it in US sports over the last few years. Like, if you were to watch every NFL game, but you can't because they play them all at the same time.
Yeah.
You have to have 5 or 6 streaming services. Some games are on
Ridiculous.
Amazon, some games are on Netflix, some games are on ESPN, and so on and so forth ad nauseum. Naggy, is it all about the money?
The money, of
It's all
course.
about the money.
We might be seeing something from Anthony Albanese, of course, the Prime Minister, to say we're going to try to restrict the advertising of gambling.
Well, that's it. I think the Landys will want to get it done very early to lock it in so that we don't lose that money gambling. But Naggy, what I don't understand about gambling advertising, we don't need it in this country. We're the best gamblers in the world. Well, not the best. We're the worst because we do it the most and lose the most.
Yeah, but then we win the most because we do it so much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why do you need to advertise gambling to Australians who know it inside out?
We
Naggy?
know about gambling.
We were betting on the Melbourne Cup in year 4.
We know all of it.
Did you do sweeps in primary school in the Melbourne Cup?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I
a-
can vividly remember in year 3, it was like you bring $2, you
Yeah.
pick a horse.
Yes.
That-
They can put that straight in the
That's
Dolomites.
quite criminal.
Yeah. It seems
no good at all.
It seems like it's been well established that we're all very, very in touch with gambling. Sportsbet could stop advertising tomorrow, but we are very much understanding of their whole business model.
But just to come back to the broadcast deal, Naggy, get into a bit of the nuance of it, a bit of the nitty gritty. Fuck KO.
Yeah. Well, KO's shit. Like that's what
Yeah, that's all. I hate
because
KO.
you had a bad
It's fucking
experience.
terrible.
You had a bad
It
experience.
is the
with
worst
KO.
streaming app of all streaming apps.
It is bad.
And that's the thing about society now. You have to have all the streaming apps to watch anything that you like. You
Yeah.
can't have any fun.
No.
Remember when Netflix came out? We're like, oh, great. We don't have to
Everything's
pay
on there.
for pay TV anymore.
Round the Twist
I'm
is on
paying
there.
for 20 different... Wait,
Yeah.
Round the Twist is on Netflix?
It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, man.
Not
It was
anymore.
on- yeah, it was on there.
Probably somewhere else now.
Yeah, but I think the splintering of the TV rights deal is just what Mr. Volandis wants because he's pitting all the networks against each other. You've got Channel 9, you've got Channel 7, you've got KO and Foxtel, which are owned by DAZN, which is owned by a Russian oligarch. The Russian oligarchs are getting their bloody filthy mitts into rugby league.
Pockets are being filled.
Well,
by
they
the Russians.
can't rely on the Hungarian league now that Orban's out.
I think they're still mad. What did we beat them by in 2000? It was like
108 to 0, I believe.
108 to 0.
Yeah.
They're still mad.
Captained by Ian Rubin, that Russian team. Yeah, yeah.
They,
South Sydney, Ian Rubin
he's
at
just
the time.
burnt his arm. But but it does seem like while we're shitting on KO, Liam, I can't give up an opportunity to shit once more on KO. That that I like. They say select your favorite team, bang, and then they say, oh, what do you like to watch? NRL. So my favorite team, Newcastle Knights, NRL.
You'd think, Naggy,
Now,
if you put that
right
they
before
would put
the-
front and centre your selections for your favourite thing.
Right before the game will start, I'll go into KO and it'd be like, do you want to watch Formula One? Fuck no. Put the fucking Knights game on. You know what I want. I'm running out of time.
You know what you like, Naggy? Professional Lithuanian 10-pin bowling.
Yeah, like, delicious.
Did you accidentally pick that in your
I may
favourite
have.
sports?
There might be a Lithuanian.
You've got to untick the Lithuanian 10-pin bowling
I
box.
gotta get it off.
Nah,
I gotta
it's
go.
all right.
I gotta
But
go.
anyway, I think this is, I don't know. I don't get... I
You don't like
honestly,
KO.
beyond-
I know you had a big
I'm
conversation
just-
on the phone with KO as well. On Messenger saying
Messenger
because
chat.
they cancelled your subscription because you did it in Canada and they thought you were somehow pirating KO.
Well, I set my account up 6 years ago
Yeah.
in Canada. I've been
In
using
Canada.
the same account for 6 6 years, and all of a sudden they said, "Oh no, you can't use an account made overseas."
Yeah.
So well, why didn't you tell me? It's like, well, we changed it.
Well, we
I said,
changed
well, why didn't you tell people you changed it? Like,
We don't care.
because we changed it.
We don't care.
Doesn't matter.
No.
So anyway, fuck Volandes, fuck KO, and just put the footy on free to air.
Channel
And
9, nothing wrong with that. Friday night's
Yeah.
a great night for football, I say.
The home
Makes
of
me
rugby
wanna,
league.
it does make me want to spear my ears with screwdrivers listening to their commentary.
Oh, well, as long as they don't put the Channel 9 game for Sundays on delay again, because
God.
they kept that on for way
And the
too
Friday
long.
game on delay. Oh, it's Burke's
Did
backyard.
they do that as well?
Well, remember for Burke's backyard.
Right.
Yeah, and not only was the
Priorities.
Sunday game on delay, it was also chopped up into a 1 hour version of itself.
Yeah, fuck Burke.
They really
The
could.
home
yeah,
of
yeah.
rugby league.
Home of rugby
my
league.
ass.
Yeah, we find a new home for rugby league. It's just
Everything in the
free to air.
world's getting worse and more expensive.
Can we
Naggy.
bring our own cameras to the game and we can just stream it live? Someone from the crowd's got a phone and they can whack it out.
about-
the
do you
cameras are all 50 megapixel these days. Surely that's just as good as the cameras from
Still a lot
television.
of megapixels.
That's a lot of megapixels. It's
Do you
clear.
reckon your mate who took the JVC camcorder to the game to record the cheerleaders at one time still got his
It was
camcorder?
not my friend. I just
I don't
noticed.
know. You sounded like you told me that story in an admiring tone. Did you tell the Jousters that story?
I noticed
Naggy?
the man in 2004.
You noticed the man because he was sitting next to him and he was saying, "Oh, check this
I
out."
was a young man and I was up on the hill there watching a Knights game, and they're like, and now the Newcastle Knights cheerleaders. Before the game, he brings out the camcorder to his face, and I was like, he must want the entire experience.
He wants the
all
whole
in
thing.
one.
He wants the pre-game
Yeah,
show.
he
He wants the
everything.
game. He wants the post-game.
The cheerleaders go off, the camera goes down, never see it again. He was there for one reason. And look,
And internet porn was well established by 2004.
oh yeah,
Everyone knew that was a thing.
yeah, he did not have dial-up at his house, but he had a camcorder with plenty of battery.
It didn't have
And a
shame
big old
either.
zoom.
A big old zoom. Indeed, he did. As a young man, I could see it. Now,
Speaking of wanking,
but speaking of wanking, apparently this coach Ivan Cleary, he likes to interact with the
he does. He likes to.
people. Like to get in his face on
Yeah.
on the. There was
He doesn't mind. I think clapping back. The
Clapping
kids call it,
back,
clapping
yeah.
back
When-
with someone.
the Tiger supporter, of course, years ago when
He blew him kisses.
he blew him kisses and said, "Have a look at that. I don't really care about
He's
you
rounding
or
the bases, old Ivan.
or you or your club." But then now there was some people giving a bit of shtick, and then he decided to give the classic wanking.
Well, that's it. Again, if you
lewd act as they've referred
yeah,
to it.
if
but
you're in the audio medium, switch over to the visual because this is the wanking motion.
the wanking motion. Now, I'm not sure it was that fierce. It wasn't sure if that.
How do
quick.
you do it?
He was. Ivan from Ivan's thing. It's off to the side.
Yeah, it's
and
more.
with
It's
a-
like a cool guy one.
He wasn't going to get anything done.
with a gritted jaw, and then just a few slow actions. Basically, say you're a wanker, and I'm going to show that by me wanking. It's communication in a visual setting, and I don't mind it.
Well, Naggy, you're studying to be an interpreter
I am,
of
I
Auslan,
am,
the famous
yes.
Australian Sign Language.
Yeah.
Is that an official Auslan, I guess, sign?
He's basically nailed it. In fact, yeah.
It's a very literal language.
It's a very look.
Auslan.
It's very. What you want is clarity, and I think
Yeah.
I think he's really carried across the message that he would like is that person that he's talking to is in fact a wanker.
But of course, the NRL media has spun this into a whole bloody.
No, I don't mind it,
diatribe. It's
Liam.
fun.
I don't.
It's
A
good
bit of
fun.
bit of fun through the glass.
Having
you
a
know.
great time.
Within the spirit of the game.
It's very much in the spirit of the game.
He's an F-wit on the glass. You're a wanker. They're throwing barbs across the thing.
There's nothing more in the spirit of the game than this.
Very
Having
lewd.
fun.
Very, very jerky. Liam, we're going to take a halftime break. and
Oh,
then-
no, we're not yet. This one's funny.
Oh, of course. Sorry, no, we are not going to take a halftime break. We got plenty more here in the first half.
We're going to lay the boot in as if the Dragons weren't having a bad enough time. Their merchandise truck has crashed on the highway
Now,
ahead of the Wollongong game.
unfortunately, on the way to the Wollongong game, which
Driver unharmed, of course.
so
we can laugh about it.
Which
That's
you
good.
would think that the merch truck wouldn't have to go that far. It's either at Cogger or at Wollongong. And,
Well, wouldn't you think the merch is already at the set, but how does
You
get
would
to the
just
stadium.
put them there and just say, can we have a box at each? We're not selling that much.
Is the sweatshop not just underneath the stadium?
You'd think there would be at least some shirts, some jerseys. A lot of people are buying them, but they've sent a full merch truck and trailer there, and it's fishtailed into disaster and flipped over on the highway, closing the highway, also closing other people to get to the game. All 6 Dragon supporters couldn't get to the game that day because the merch truck had spilled over, and all the merch tipped out. And they said, "That's fine. Just someone else can clean it up."
Do you reckon
no one wants anything? It's
Do you
worth
reckon
nothing.
someone was driving past and just slowed down? You can't park there, mate.
And they said, "Oh, wanker."
That's the funniest thing in the world. There's a car crash. You can't park there, mate.
You can't do that.
That's comedy.
Right,
That is comedy.
a non-serious accident should always have someone to say you can't park there.
Absolutely.
as
Serious
the car.
accidents, no. You must be treated with respect and hope that the people injured recover safely and well.
Safely and well.
But if you're a merch truck, I once got a lift home from a jazz festival in a comic book truck. Naggy, have I ever told you that story?
It's a fever dream, Liam. You've made it up. All right. We're going to take a halftime break, but of course, to play us out is our musical guest, Mr. Lou Scary.
You got a fast truck full of shirts no one wants to wear. Could have sold some shorts, but like I said, no one cares. Got a coach and a son, unfortunately not the good ones. Anyone might be better if the owners could just grow a pair.
Alrighty then.
Wilson DeCourcy played 40 minutes last week and I thought he looked good. He wasn't good, Wilson DeCourcy. Hoped at halftime, should he go back to Cup this week? I think he should. All the Tigers tried. Where did they all come from? All the Tigers tried. They didn't go through dumb.
Thank you, Mr. Scary. Of course, that's what we love here at the Joust, Liam. 2 overweight men criticising some of the best athletes in the world.
Yeah.
But of course, we can't
That's
go
our right as Australians.
as Australians,
As taxpayers.
That's right.
As voters.
The voters. But of course, we can't get past the fact that we saw for the first time in a long time a player hooked at half time.
That's rare to see. Poor Wilson. Oh, Wilson, we feel for you, buddy.
There was concern going into this game that we outlined last week, of course, that William, because he looked like a bigger man, a bigger gentleman, a bigger centaur. He was out there with, of course, partnering Greg Marju, also a bigger
The
man.
thickest edge in rugby league.
Yeah, bigger man, a bigger winger, and now going up against the likes of Tigers, the back line, which seemed to be very fast and very
Agile and skinny boy.
and
like Tigers.
succinct,
Yeah.
much like Tigers they were, and unfortunately with hopes high, we went down there to Campbelltown all the way.
Hopes
down there
high,
to
smugness cusping,
Yeah.
all the way to Campbelltown.
all the way to Campbelltown,
Yeah.
and really, I think watching the game, it really shows that they strangled us out of the win.
Hey, at least
so
the ground
early.
conditions were good and the weather was fine. That's
That's
nice.
right. The ground
That's
conditions
nice.
were good. The weather was fine. 15,000 supporters down there in Campbelltown.
Oh, this was a doozy, eh?
But
Nags?
Taruva
Good
really,
Christ.
we really saw Taruva was named at centre but played on the wing.
Oh,
and that
trickster.
That might
there
have
needs to
been-
be an investigation about that. That's not fine.
no,
That's not within the spirit of the game.
That's not good.
Can't be playing ducks and drakes like that.
But he was obviously the very faster man. We're comparing him to the 2 boys out there on the edge for us.
Yeah,
And-
he had something like
and-
3
and
tries, a
comes
try
with-
assist, 188 run meters, 5 line breaks, 8 tackle breaks.
Now, I got
Christ.
the feeling when watching this game, Liam, that we basically didn't have the ball for, it seemed like the first 20 minutes.
I don't think the Knights had the ball at all.
At all, no.
20 minutes.
It just seemed like there was all Tigers, no matter what we did, no matter what we tried.
Great
Tigers
work
had-
from the NRL digital media team. Tigers here represented in black,
Black.
and the Newcastle Knights represented in
Dark
dark navy blue.
Now,
Wow.
if we look at the possession stats there, of course, 57% to the Tigers, 43 to the Newcastle Knights.
That's some of the wildest possession stats I've seen maybe this year, maybe in the last couple of years. That's insane.
Over the course of 80 minutes, it
Yeah.
certainly didn't even
Oh.
itself out. But one shining light there. If we look at the completion rate for the Newcastle Knights, over 80%.
That's good.
Yeah.
If we can hang our hat on anything, Naggy, we can hang our hat on a okay good completion rate.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Phil.
And is the real winner of the game whoever completes at the highest percentage now? Isn't
I think
that
so.
the real
Yeah.
winner on the day?
That's who should
Yeah.
really get the kind of points. Not an exceptionally high error
really.
rate from the Newcastle Knights, both 11 errors to each team. But really, it was just possession early on. And we've seen this time and time again in the 2026 style of rugby league, that it seems like if you can cash in on points in that first period where you have a lot of possession, then it's very, very hard for the team to come back.
Is it those damned 6 agains, Nagy?
Potentially.
Potentially. Can we pin this loss
Actually, I don't think it was
anywhere?
many. Ruck infringement was only one. And that was
Yeah, that's not many.
penalties we won.
But is that only penalties for ruck infringements? I don't think that includes 6 agains, does it?
I don't know.
I'm
No one
grasping
knows.
at straws here to find any positive out of that game.
It just seemed like the Tigers came in the game plan
46 missed tackles.
to attack that edge. And they executed really well. And this was through.
It's like having 2 Ethan Sanders out there.
When we thought we could patch up, that's right. We were all Ethan Sanders that day. When we thought we could patch up and set like a bit of a better structure, we had Api Coruscant just going from dummy half and sort of cheating away through a try. But
that's
it
an
wasn't
accusation
cheating.
there,
It was just I suppose he had the Gavin Morton level of smuggness and just thought he would just go straight over. So. Taruva getting over the Api Coruscant, and then Taruva again. Before we know it, we're up and
Patrick Herbert, the other member of the Tigers, right edge.
Yeah, and then a bit of relief when Dom Young went over for a miraculous try, the turn and twist as he likes to do. He done the full clock, and
We
then
did the clock. I think we tried to. Blah, 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 blah.
He tried
to imitate the body position he contorted himself into, and I can't walk.
legs in the air.
Yeah,
No,
legs in the air.
You're banned to that
clock.
chair from now on, I think. So it was a bit of a shining light. We thought potentially this could be the start.
It was a sniff of hope, Nagy.
A sniff of hope of the Knights. But then there was a period, about a 5-minute period right before half time where they managed to get over twice, and that really put us to bed. Patrick Herbert as well as Jareem Buller. And it just from that point going into half time with a lot of points to the Tigers and not many of the Newcastle Knights, it really felt like...
Which is not where you want it to be.
Yeah, there has been
28 to 4 at half time.
No,
Controversial opinion, that's bad.
That's too many points.
Yeah.
That's too many points to try to make up. And it although there was one shining light, and that's when there did seem to be a little bit more consistency with the evenness of possession, coming back to the Newcastle Knights. In a last sort of period there, we managed to squeak over 2 tries.
It's a couple of classic garbage time consolation tries.
But potentially, but they looked good. They were good looking tries. We had Fletcher Hunt there, we're contesting the ball, and just taking it out of the arms of Jareem Buller and running over. Great dummy back as well as Trey Mooney just strolling over, which was great as a reply for Tyron May. Was it Tyron that went over? Terrell May. That went over, strolled under our post about 10 minutes before. So it did feel like if the game was maybe 116 minutes...
It might have come close.
Might have come close. 36 minutes short of everything swinging back towards the Newcastle Knights. But of course, Len, when we're talking about performances, we must thank Mullet Pale Ale for our hats off for this week.
Hats off. Hats off. Hats off.
You've got the Mullet staff there, of course, Liam.
Yes. Mullet staff with the hat off going on.
You can always order Mullet Pale Ale, of course, in the 6-pack or the staff. The staff is not always the best medium to be able to drink out of all the cans because they are, in fact, taped together. But hats off for this week, Liam. We have to find some performers that we thought did an excellent job that we take our hat off to, and you've got a familiar
face. And
face.
yet again, a repeat offender when it comes to the hats off so far this year. Dane Gagai, the eternal wonder, the marathon man of rugby league, Dane Gagai. Try assist, 157 metres, 49 post contact, 8 tackle breaks, 1 line break assist. He was the little kernel of corn in the large shit that was the Knights before.
That's right, yeah. That's right. You do find them sometimes in the shit. And that was it was good to see someone like Dane at his age, really taking control of what he could and
trying his best to be the veteran, dragging the young boys with him. He said, "Go with me, boys."
That's what you want to see. There wasn't the kind of frustration that we saw in the Warriors when we were down by a lot of points. So you see, I think Dane lost his head a bit and Trey lost his head a bit, but they were the 2 players that really kept their heads screwed on. I think counterclockwise and really tight. And they said, "No, come on, let's see what we can get."
Lefty loosey, righty tighty,
and made the scoreboard look much more respectable. if you didn't watch the game, you
Respectable's a stretch, Naggy.
Well,
on
if
that
you- if you did-
scoreline,
if you did-
42 to 22. I don't know.
if you didn't see the game, you might have thought it might have been a tit for tat, or a tit for a tat tat, and then another tit. Of course, we are the breasts.
Who was the tit and who was the tat?
They are the tats, depending on which way you weigh it. But
You don't really hear people calling breasts melons anymore, do you?
No,
Naggy?
you don't.
We were
They're
talking about
sort
this
of
the other day.
just
It's not
gone
one
out.
you hear often.
No, all
No.
jugs. They've both been let go in the vernacular of Australia.
Yeah,
But
which is a shame.
But of course, my hats off for this week went to Phoenix Crossfield Bomland with 61 tackles.
Now,
Liam.
didn't he make 61 tackles when he got his face smashed in between those two guys' bums?
I feel like it was over 50.
No, it was over
but,
50. I think it was over 60.
But he is now ranked second in all-time tacklers for this year, 2026 in the NRL.
So not all time, just this time.
All-time being the time that we currently...
That was very Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, it was all-time of this year. Thank you, Tito. He's my vocal coach, of course. But he really, bent his back, and someone had to make all those tackles with possession going against us. Someone really had to get in the middle and do the dirty work, and he got dirty. Which was
Filthy.
He got filthy.
Just filthy.
Which is, I think Phoenix has always had a stand-up performance, I think, in each game that we've had this
Oh, he's been
year.
great this year.
And I don't think anyone can hold them against him. No runs from dummy half because he's buggered because he made 61 tackles.
Yeah, I'd be tucking out too.
It was Tuckett, all right. And so it seems like they've also want to keep this rotation of Phoenix moving to lock, and then we bring on Harrison Gray and the
Great
Magician.
rotation.
Coming
Great
in. And
rotation.
he can do more of the running, but Phoenix's job, I think, is just to get in the middle and, again, get filthy. So, and he did that. So, look, hats off to you, Phoenix. But when we take our hats off, Liam, we must return them to a head of someone that we noticed didn't do so well.
Now, Joust, you get 3 guesses to pick who gets this week's hats back on.
Yeah, you put your hat on.
This is the easiest hats back on we've ever had to give Naggy, but did it also hurt the most?
It hurt a lot.
Oh,
Of
Wilson.
course, Wilson de Courcy. The
A very
dauphin.
own member of the French aristocracy. He's gone the way of the French aristocracy.
He's
Fucked.
He's, of course, a young fellow that, of course, can learn from this experience and come back into
Well,
the
that's
side.
it. We hope he takes it as a learning experience because every young man and woman, of course, who comes into senior rugby league, you've got your welcome to the NRL moment where you get the absolute shit kicked out of you. But there's 2 ways you can go, Naggy. You can let it break you down, you can let it affect you, and you can dwell on it for the rest of your life. Or as Wilson, I hope, will do, he will learn. He will come back stronger than ever. He'll say, you know what? I'll never let that happen again.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
That he's only a young pup. I'm sure he'll make his way back into the system. But it was a bit of a surprise to see De Courcy, despite making his debut last week against the Canberra Raiders, that we didn't go for a more seasoned centre in Hong Kong McCarthy.
Yes.
And as someone that has been out there before and potentially could have done a better job. In hindsight, of course, hindsight is a beautiful thing. But
I've always said that.
But this week we've gone for a brand new centre, which we'll cover in the game preview. But of course, Liam, another hat's back on.
Well, that's it. We couldn't just pin it all on Wilson. We couldn't just say, you boy, you're the only one. No, I
it
think
wasn't Dom.
Greg the Bus had a lot. Never Dom. I'll never give the
never
hats
Dom.
back on to Dom. He's the best, and I love him, and I always did.
That's right.
Greg the Bus, I think, should bear his share of the responsibility for the disintegration of the Knights' left edge.
Yes, it disintegrated it right. I think Adam
It
Dewey
was
really
great.
found his space out there, and that should have been the one message.
Where
Don't
the
let-
hell has Adam Dewey come from this year?
Well, it
He's playing
seems to
some
be
amazing
playing
rugby league.
really well with
The Tigers were so good.
I was going to
They're
say Jack
amazing.
Cogger. It was certainly not Jack Cogger, but it was
Jock Madden.
Jock Madden.
Other
That-
school.
that the
Scone,
other
yeah.
graduate of the School of Unremarkable Boys. But of
Jock
course,
Madden, Jack Cogger, they are very similar names.
it became very apparent what he was doing was running straight into the line, drawing defenders, and as soon as he gets there, just passing it off, and then giving Adam Dewey, who was playing, I think he was playing 7, but he was playing out wide, and then
He's playing more of a 6 role, but
was
in the
playing more
7
of a 6
jersey.
role.
Again, Ducks and Drakes.
But it was also, they executed so well, the Tigers, that once we sort of caught on to one thing they were doing, they did another.
Yeah.
And that was really disappointing to see. It was a tough game there at Campbelltown. Of course, we were looking for potentially our next loss, and we thought, when is this run is going to end? And it ended there in Campbelltown. The worst, Pussytown, the worst place for it to end. Pussy being cats. Now,
yeah.
and
Get your mind
Town.
out of the gut at Jousters.
Town being town. So, yeah, that's the two coming together. But, of course, Liam, we must look backwards, not forwards. Forwards, not backwards.
Twirling, always twirling. Moving on from that flaming shit heap of a good football game that we just watched on
Now,
Sunday.
something that really caught my eye, we came dead last year in 2025, Liam, and you think they would
Could not have
potentially...
come more last if you tried.
You think they would potentially throw us a fucking bone when it comes to maybe giving us some home games, giving us some advantages in the early rounds. This is round 7 we're going to against the Roosters, again in Sydney, meaning that we've only had 2 out of the first 7 games at home. What the fuck is going on?
Well, again, we've discussed this before. The NRL scheduling is a chicken throwing a dart at a dartboard that it doesn't exist, and the chicken doesn't have fingers anyway, so it can't throw the dart.
Yeah.
You're just giving a chicken a dart in an empty room.
It's got no thumbs.
It's taxpayer money, probably.
Can't throw it. Seems to be... Manly, for fuck's sake, have 3 home games in a row to start the season.
Yeah, but that was satisfying because they got spanked in the
Well,
majority.
they didn't win
that
any
was
of them.
nice.
No, they didn't
Yeah,
win
that
any
was
of them.
nice.
But it would have been nice to see us with a bit of an advantage coming in some way. But instead, we were playing top 4 sides in the previous year. Anyway, we've got the Roosters. The Roosters haven't been really travelling that well over the last few years, really.
Doesn't Daly Cherry Evans in a Roosters jersey look so weird? I don't
Still
like
can't
it.
get my head around it. Of course, Daly Cherry Evans, as you mentioned there, is partnering up with the fullback James Tedesco, captaining the side. And then a very dangerous back line, and Daniel Tupou, always good against us, which is disappointing. And then we see Hugo Savala, obviously.
See, now this is
Belly Savala's
this is an
brother.
interesting one, having Belly Savala's brother there in the centres, because he's more well known as a half, and they've got Billy Smith on the bench, who's more well known as a centre.
Yeah. Why?
Naggy, you're seeing some ducks and drakes there. Is it going to be, we promised you Savala, we're giving you Smith.
Done the Taruva move once again, potentially.
The Taruva move.
And then Robert Toyer making his debut for
State of
Queensland
Origin legend
last year.
Robert Toyer.
Now, the Newcastle Knights have decided not to go for Hong Kong McCarthy once again, but instead putting Fletcher Hunt, the fullback,
Well, the boy can do anything.
I like it.
putting him in centre. I like it too. I like the cut of the jib of the missionary man, Mr. Holbrook.
Loves an error.
It's,
Loves an error, Fletcher Hunt.
Well, Fletcher Hunt has, but he's been put under the high ball a few times. They put a lot of pressure on him. He is fearless, but they've been taxing him a lot of making him run again and
That's
again
it.
and
Playing
again.
left centre of him, it'll be a nice little holiday. Like, I don't have to
Potentially.
field any enormous torpedo bombs this
Well,
week.
unless they're in attack, which he seems to like catching them over the shoulder. Which
He does love catching him over the shoulder.
So out there with Greg, and Greg seems to like he's going to be marked up against Tupou. It seems like it's going to be a mismatch, but with a real jumper out there in Hunt, we might see a little bit more of a contest.
Bit more of Crossfield Bomblands Phoenix.
Yeah, we might
Yeah.
in those tight little Chippideedoodah that come down that we might see. We might see. I couldn't think of really what I mean. You know what I meant. It's
That's perfect, mate. Perfect.
He's painted the
Episode
picture
title, I
for the
think.
listeners there,
Yeah,
Jake.
Chippity day. So that we might see a little bit more of a contest under the high ball, because Greg does seem to shit himself and plant both feet most of the time. And if you think that Tupou's been catching balls off the ground for his entire
about
career,
15 years.
and he's already so rangy. So potentially we might see a little bit more of a contest there.
And is that really the left edge of the Knights this week? Is it really the duality of man? You have the big, deep, thick Greg Buss, and then the skinny little whippet Fletcher Hunt.
Also, Fletcher Hunt, like for Greg does like to pinch in a bit, and you need like breast. Bradman Best does a lot of turning and chasing and really making up, but we didn't get that with DeCourcy because he simply just didn't have the speed. Now we've got Fletcher Hunt there, a little bit more nimble. We might see a little bit more cover for Greg when those line breaks happen on the wing. Now he's a lesser body, but at the same time, you get a bit more in pace.
Yep.
So... But the big one for us is, I think, a superstar that's in his best position, and that's Fletcher Sharp.
Oh, what a superstar in his best position.
And that's the fullback, of course, going in there for Fletcher Hunt. Now, welcoming back, of course, Dylan Brown at 5'8", which is, thank God he's back. We've been hoping that he'd be coming back soon. He's there at halfback.
The day has come, Jousters. No need to panic anymore. Dylan Brown is back.
Now, we haven't seen a whole lot of Dylan Brown and Sanders Smith play together in the halves.
I love the combination, though. I think the way they play complements each other perfectly.
We've seen Sanders Smith touch the ball so much, probably too much, because he's had to get his fingers and toes on everything. Toes for kicking, of course.
but toes for kicking.
But then now, knowing that if it's just not on down the short side and he has to move the ball, he does have a controlling set play half there in Dylan Brown that he can get the ball to from the middle of the field. Now, I think this is going to be great. I think we're going to see some far more expansive play and a lot more calmness, I think, within the team.
Because Dylan Brown,
like
he
that.
exudes calmness, doesn't he, Naggy? He's a really chilled out fella.
He's 2 bongs in most of the time.
Yeah, he's a really, really laid-back kind of a guy. But we haven't seen this combination work, but I believe they complement each other well. They both can run the ball when needed.
That's it. They haven't played together so far this year.
Also, Dylan Brown has a much bigger boot on him than Sandon, and Sandon can focus on the shorter kicking game, being the shorter man, and Dylan Brown can focus on the longer kicking game, being the longer man. So it does seem like hopefully they will even each other out.
You've seen him in the shower, have you, Naggy?
So we haven't had many changes to the front row rotation. Jacob Saifidi as well as Trey Mooney.
The Frizzellissance has ended as soon as it begun. Unfortunately, Naggy copped a bit of a tickler in there. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that in the casualty ward.
That's right,
Frizzell's
Tyson
got hit in the ribs.
Tyson Frizzell has been hitting the ribs.
Great.
He's probably going to be out for 4 to 6. But
4 to 6?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Which is not good for a rib injury, but they might inject him and get him back earlier. They can rebuild him. We have the technology. But
Crack out the bubble wrap, Juho.
we are seeing as a Cody Hopwood, of course, Mr. Knife Sock.
Cody Sock Knives.
Cody Sock Knives, they're coming in on the bench.
I'm excited to see a bit of Frisco, a bit of Francis Manilelu off the bench.
Yeah, someone that's
I think if anyone's going to counter Spencer Ligneur's power and raw aggression.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Although Spencer Ligneur's not in the 19, actually, he's back there. Oh yeah, there
he's there. He's there in the 15. So
Yeah.
they have a really solid side, which I hate to say because they lost so many talent. Of course, we've got some Ghosts of Christmas Past and Connor Watson.
When are they going to do that salary cap review, Naggy?
They just lost.
When
so
are they
many
going to open
players.
up the books?
I believe there was something going on.
Crack
Tim
open the
Full
books.
Hat.
Politis.
Yeah, of course, Connor Watson. We don't want to see him having a good game against his former team
Because it wouldn't be a Newcastle Knights game without a Ghost of former past just completely dominating, having a ripper.
Yeah, unless it's Canberra.
Yeah.
So I do think that we don't want to let the likes of Tedesco, the likes of DCE get into their groove and really control the game.
Well, that's it. It'll be hopefully a game plan built around containment by the Newcastle Knights. Because I don't think there's many places where the Knights have an out-and-out advantage.
I think it'll be
about containing the Roosters' threats.
I think it's going to be about possession, much like what the Tigers did to us. If we can sort of get points on the board early and then just seem to starve them out, they'll get frustrated. They might try to play over, play their hand too much, if you will.
Yes.
And then we might see some mistakes coming from the Roosters. They haven't really proven themselves as a super dominant side this year so far, and they seem like they're still working out a few kinks with the Sam Walker.
Very excited to see what weird shit Mark Nwanganu-Uwase does this week.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, he's just such a loose cannon. We
He's
don't know
amazing.
he might score 4. We don't know. It's a danger game for the Newcastle Knights. Of course, coming off a good run of form, getting a player back that hasn't played a lot with us, really, only a game and a half there in Dylan Brown. Are we going to see some more points on the board? Still scoring over 20 against the Tigers. We haven't really been starved out of a game, unless you look at the Warriors. We only scored 2 tries, but even that game, we still managed 5 line breaks. We've still kept this attacking feel going and showing that if we can hold the ball, potentially we can score tries. I think it's going to come from Fletcher Sharp at fullback. He made 20 tackles in that game and missed 5. We can't expect the best out of Fletcher Sharp when he's making so many tackles and having big fellas run at him. Now, as long as he stays at the back and we don't have big fellas running straight through the line at him and getting a big old run up, he should be able to reduce that and only make a few tackles and then really focus on his
minimal
running game.
tackles. Don't make the boy tackle.
Looping
He's
around.
a fullback. Fullbacks don't want to tackle.
Also, looking at it, Dylan Brown, you give him Fletcher Sharp. Hopefully some magic can happen, including Harrison Graham, the magician. So maybe Harrison can also, teach the boys some tricks.
I hope so, yes.
Where's my card? Where is it? It's in your pocket. I've got your watch. That kind of stuff. all the great games.
Pick a card. The card's up your bum. Oh, goodness.
He hasn't got a rabbit or a bird
No
yet.
birds, no animals. No animals were harmed in Harrison Graham's performance. He was working with lions for a while. And he said, no, too dangerous. So are we going to see Sanders Smith and Brown gel?
Well, it's a bit of a revenge game for Sand and Smith as well. Famously, release from the Sydney Roosters unceremoniously.
Yeah, he's a ghost of their
Yeah.
Christmas past, of
Yeah.
course. So hopefully we can see. And they chose to pick Savala over Sanders, so
Dogs.
all he has to do is play better than him. So if you want to watch the game, of course, you can catch it at the best sports bar in Newcastle, the George Derby Hotel.
Drinking the best beer on tap, the Mullet Pale Ale from Shout Brewing, of course.
Absolutely, and you can find that on tap there. Cold, delicious, 2 p.m. on a Sunday. It also gives you a bit of a run-in as well. You can get a bit pissed, and then you can get home for dinner, which is nice. Because the 4 o'clock game, you run straight into dinner, and you go, oh, fuck, it's basically Monday. I
don't remember most of that time.
No.
I'm sorry, Joust.
That's all right. You can find us on all the social pipes, all the different colours there. But hopefully we'll be back next week talking about a historic win. Gee, it feels good when we beat the Roosters. Fingers crossed we can do it.
Toes.
Fingers crossed we can do it. Thank you very much, Liam. Thank you very much from the team here at the Joust. And, of course, thank you to our musical guest who will soon be chased out of town by Wilson de Courcy. It gives me great pleasure to welcome once again Mr. Luce Carey.
Ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-da, 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 ba-da-ba.